Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Final Buzzer. We are a U of H basketball podcast. It's our first one in the U of H building. We're looking good so far, Cougars. How are we feeling?
Very good.
Very good. All right, so we'll start with the SIU game first. What are y'all's thoughts? Dan, you want to kick us off? Oh, okay, yeah.
Belt to ass.
Got it.
I mean, looking at the box score, usually if you win by 38 points, there's not much to really talk about.
Yeah.
So, I mean, other than U of H had 50 rebounds, SIU averaged only 27. I mean, that's.
I will say, to me, the freshman Milos Uzan played incredible that game. That was big leading scorer.
I think he's gone next year. I think he hit the transfer portal.
You think he's going to hit the portal?
No, he's
Well, we'll get into
You're out of
that.
your mind.
Also, he's not a freshman. He's a junior.
You can still hit the portal.
That's true. He can.
We'll get into that later, though.
just
So
said
now
freshman,
the
I'm
game
just
that had a little more grip to it, the Gonzaga game.
Mm-hmm.
Danny, you want to kick us off starting that one?
I think we rocked it hard the first half, all the way up until the end of the second quarter, and then we could not score points to save our lives. Made it a little too close for comfort.
Yeah,
but then
it's
again,
normally how our
the
games go.
junior Uzan and Cryer carried us to the finish line.
Yeah, Cryer finishing out with those free throws.
30 points.
0. He
30
went
burger.
off.
It was an incredible game by him.
Went, I believe, 6 for 11 from 3. He was just
Thank
incredible.
So-
Thank goodness for him.
Heat check.
Good start on the Cougars, but there was a lot of other good games in the first two rounds. I think one we should talk about is the Florida-UConn game.
Mhm.
Basically, it looked like UConn was going to hold it off till the very end, but Florida was just too talented.
Yeah, I mean, Walter Clayton Jr. He's been one of the best players in the tournament. He's made some clutch shots for Florida. He was insane.
It's
Yeah.
not 30, but 23 points.
23,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's still
That's
pretty
still- that's
good.
still pretty
It's
good.
some
He
like
is
clutch
very,
threes
very-
late in the second half. So.
He's extremely wet from the three-point line.
Yeah.
But and then I think we all saw Dan Hurley after the game had some interesting comments. He
Little
said,
crash out there.
"Don't let the refs expletive you like they did us to Baylor." So Dan Hurley, probably not the best loser, but I don't
Right.
think he would claim he's the best loser.
He's not really used to it the last couple of years.
Yeah, the Wicked Witch
I don't
dead.
think he knows how to act.
Good for the Cougs. And then we also had the Maryland buzzer beater, one of the only buzzer beaters of the tournament, I think.
It's like one of the only exciting things to happen this tourney so far.
So, the big question, was it a travel?
He traveled to Maryland and back. In my
Yes.
I think it's a travel.
According to the rules, I believe it's a travel. There is no gather step in college basketball. He took 3 steps. I think he had control of the ball after this first, right there. I think that's control. 1, 2, 3. So I believe it's a travel, but I don't think the refs are going to wave off the most exciting thing to happen this tourney so far.
Right? It's March
so.
Madness. We
Right.
finally get a buzzer
Also,
beater.
like on top of that, it's like you're human. You're going to miss calls
For sure.
like during the game. So they're
I
going
mean,
to miss
look at
that.
it. Look at everyone.
Wow.
Bam.
Off the glass.
I think Colorado State.
Colorado State. I feel bad because they played well
I
enough to
think
win. They were
Colorado
really
State
good.
fans have the right to complain forever. So, that's an unfortunate one.
But I also think their season was a huge success, and I think
For
they have a
sure.
lot to be happy about.
Especially being a 12.
And then another team where we didn't think they'd be here, Arkansas, with the upset over St. John's.
I actually did think I picked Arkansas to be safe.
Coach Cal with the little red Cinderella dress.
The middle.
Interesting. It's weird to see Coach Cal in kind of a Cinderella position.
Yeah, I mean,
And then St. John's just
normally he's a top seed.
Yeah,
normally
for
he's
sure.
a top seed crashing out in the first
yeah,
weekend.
he's
so-
never a Cinderella. This is an interesting one.
This is his first time out of the first weekend since like 2019 or
Yeah.
Well, I think with
I believe it was
Arkansas,
2019.
the only reason why they were a 10 seed is because they played in the SEC. If you
Yeah.
were to put
Yeah,
Arkansas
of course.
in like
Anywhere else.
the Big
Right.
12 or the Big 10, they'd be like a 3 or a 4.
Oh yeah.
Well, SEC bias, it's possible. So going into Arkansas, kind of the last, probably the highest ranked seed we have. So the dominance of the higher seeds, and there's been obviously not a lot of mid majors.
Mhm.
What do y'all think that's equating to? What is the situation that's causing that?
I think it's just, with all of the mid-major schools, one player has a good year, and the higher programs see it like, we want this guy.
Yeah.
And so now they're just building super teams.
You think it's the portal?
And yeah,
Mhm,
it's
to build
the
on him,
portal,
just-
Big 12, SEC, the Big 10, they're stealing all these guys, and now it's just these teams almost like a participation trophy.
Not
Yeah.
only do they have money, but they're known for winning. It's much easier. You leave, hey, we win, we have money, you come to us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of lower seed teams that normally could be here are just gone.
It was interesting. Yeah, I saw, not to talk about Coach Cal again, but he was on the Pat McAfee podcast, and he was saying there's a bunch of freshmen who deserve to play college basketball, and they're just
Mhm.
not getting
Right.
the chance because they're all going for transfers.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's interesting. I'm curious if next year we'll continue to see the dominance of the higher seeds with
I'm,
NIL and transfer
I'm
portal.
sure we
but-
will unless things change
Yeah.
on that end. But I mean,
For sure. So, going back to the Cougs, our next round against Purdue, and we'll be in Indianapolis, Lucas Oil Stadium.
home game for them.
Speaking of Pat McAfee.
Yeah, speaking of Pat
Speaking of
McAfee,
Pat-
so I was looking at it this morning. So, Purdue is 70 miles from where they're playing. Tennessee is 380. Kentucky 189. And U of H is 1,000 miles away.
Wow.
So, we're going to have 2 away games going into this.
Yep.
What do y'all think is the pros for us to come out victorious so we can have 2 home games coming back in town?
I think with U of H though is they've always played well when it's them against the world. You know, I've always there's never really been a time where, you know, they're on the road and they just falter once they handle, you know, some kind of pressure. It seems like if they get the pressure, they always handle it very well.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, for them it would just be just another game.
For sure.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, also like to build off of him. Another problem we normally have is an injury issue. So normally, like a star player would have gotten hurt by now. It's not wood, knock on wood. But normally somebody would have already been hurt by now, and luckily we have just survived injuries so far as
Yeah.
a league. So I'm just
For
really
sure.
proud that we have survived them so far.
For sure. Yeah, I think this first matchup against Purdue, I think, will be our easiest game there, and then against Tennessee or Kentucky is definitely going to be much tougher.
I'm not really scared of Kentucky. The problem with Tennessee, though, is they're getting really high.
Yeah,
And any sport,
Tennessee,
Those are one of the best
yeah,
defensive teams in the country. too.
Immovable object, they're
So
unstoppable
are we.
force.
and Tennessee,
They
I
play
know
good defense, but they're on an offensive hot
they're the
streak
second
right
farthest, but I know they're going to travel. They
Yeah.
are going to be there, and
They
they're
will.
going to be loud, and they're going to try to make an away game.
Mhm.
The Cougs will travel, but 1,000 miles, that's far. So
Yeah.
we'll see. I feel good about the Purdue game. I think that'll be a good clap, and then
The environment might be a little harsh, but you know,
for sure.
we've
For
dealt
sure.
with that before.
Yeah,
We
I
haven't
think
dealt
all
with.
3 of those schools there would be very happy for us to lose.
Oh yeah, I think the whole country would be happy if we
For
lost.
sure. But
I feel more confident against Purdue than I did against Gonzaga.
for sure. Welcome back to the Final Buzzer podcast. We're going to get into our second chance bracket because life's about second chances. So let's start with this Auburn-Michigan game. How do y'all think it's going to go? What are y'all's opinions? Let's hear it.
Okay, well, I mean, as good as Auburn are, they've been the best team in the country. I mean, Janai Broom up there for the Wooden Player of the Year. However, I don't think they've been the best team in the country in this tournament so far. I mean, Alabama State gave them a game, first game,
They've been cold.
and then to end the season, they lost their 3 out of the last 4 games. So they didn't even win the SEC championship game. I think they're kind of cold. Michigan's riding hot. They got 2 7-foot
Michigan
bigs.
is hot. What are y'all thinking?
I think Michigan.
I think he's right. Michigan is hot, but Auburn, they're better in the paint.
They're a 1
They
seed
play-
for a
they
reason.
play
I don't
better
know.
zone.
They're
Yeah.
two
bigs-
7-footers.
Their bigs are way too dominant. Like U of H is the second best team in this tournament,
That's
and
true.
in the paint they made them look like some 6 little foot-year-old boys.
That's true.
I got Michigan in this game. At this point, you know, in the round of 32 and the round of 64, it's about whoever's playing better at that time, or within that game. When you get to the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8, it doesn't matter what the seeds are. It depends on their previous games and the tournament coming into the game. Auburn is limping. I got Michigan beating Auburn.
Oh,
Alright.
There we go.
I got Auburn. I just gotta agree with Danny what he just said earlier. It's just that Auburn's dynamic offense and their aggressive defense will probably just give Michigan their hard times dealing with it. But I don't know, man.
Auburn's a 1 seed for a reason. I guess we're gonna vote here. You may have to break this vote. All right.
Break your tie, Julian.
I'm going Auburn. Who's voting Auburn with me?
Auburn right here.
We got 3 Auburns, and then
2 Michigan.
We're both
Give me the
Michigan.
big
We're both
blue.
Michigan.
wow,
Big blue.
tiebreaker turned it on us. Okay. All right, let's go to this next game then. We got Ole Miss, Michigan State.
Just for reference, his vote doesn't count. He's the facilitator.
I know. I'm
Yeah,
the facilitator. Thank you.
He just needs to feel involved. So
Yes,
we're letting
exactly.
him.
I will feel needy. Ole Miss, Michigan State. What do y'all got? What's y'all's thoughts?
I think Ole Miss and Michigan State, this is going to be the tightest game out of all the other games. Michigan State's only favored by 3.5, and they're minus 175 on the betting line. I personally think that this game will come down to 1 or 2 possessions at most.
Yeah.
Ole Miss, they came in off a close win. I'm gonna have to go Michigan State over Ole Miss.
I agree.
I think that's the first time we're
Two
agreeing on
great
something.
tournament coaches, I will say. Chris
Yeah.
Beard, hate his guts, but
Right.
great basketball coach in the tournament. So, but it sounds like y'all
Some
are
say
all for
Izzo's-
Michigan State.
Some would say
Give me the
Izzo's
be-
an even better one in March.
Defenseless championships, give me the better defense.
All right, I think we got our vote on that.
I like
one.
I like the rivalry, the Michigan
All right.
rivalry in the Elite Eight.
Let's
I
go
really
down
do.
to the West where we have Florida and Maryland coming off the buzzer beater. What do y'all think? 1 versus 4.
Travel. Oh,
Travel.
is that what we're talking about? Sorry, we already talked about that. So, I'm gonna have to go with Florida. I think
Florida.
they, if not U of H, I think they've been the second best team
They look
in the tournament so far.
hot to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, I like Walter Clayton in his game.
I think their offense is
I
just
could
too on
go.
and off during the regular season. They were up and down and up and down, and
In the tournament,
plus the travel, almost losing to Colorado State. Give me the Gators.
Gator?
I'm gonna have to go with Florida as well. Maryland, coming off of that close shot, that could have gone either way. And, if it wasn't Maryland, it'd be Florida versus Colorado State, which
I would have picked Colorado State. But
I feel like it's like a ball don't lie game. Like if they get
Right.
destroyed, it's like it wasn't.
I think this is going to be the biggest blowout game.
Whoa!
Oh, wow.
Hot take, hot
My,
take.
wow.
I've got
I can
Florida
see that.
winning by at least 20.
At least
I can
one.
see that. Yeah.
All right. Well,
I don't
Florida
think
it
it's
is.
far-fetched
Yeah.
to say.
We're gonna go down to Texas Tech versus Arkansas. We got Coach Cal in his red versus another red. What are we feeling, boys?
Coach Cal, he's a proven coach in March. And I mean, Texas Tech, I believe, are still without their best player in Chance McMillan. He might be back.
They're struggling with injuries right
They
now.
are struggling with injuries right now. I think it might be Coach Cal and Arkansas's time. I'm going to go with Arkansas here.
Arkansas has the SEC bias.
Look, they have the
shouldn't be a
SEC
10
bias.
seed. They shouldn't be a 10
They shouldn't be a 10
They're
seed.
way
They're-
too good to
look,
be a 10 seed.
If they're in a different conference, they wouldn't have been a 10 seed. But
And even without the best player, I want to ride the hot streak. Give me Wu Pig.
Wow, we picked Suey.
I think both of these teams are coming off abysmal shooting performances.
Yeah.
To say the least.
So this is either going to be like both teams scoring 100 plus points or both teams are going to be scoring 40 points. So I think whoever makes the most 3-pointers in this game is going to win. And seeing what Texas Tech did to U of H here at the Fertitta Center, I got to go Texas Tech.
Okay.
I'm just going off based off what they can do.
All right, we can tie it up or you can send us home.
I'm
best
gonna
player,
probably
by the
go with
way.
Texas Tech with what Corey just said.
All right, Mr. Tiebreaker. What are we feeling?
Give me Tech.
Wow.
Oh, boo.
I will say.
Boo. We're a
Give me
Cougs
Tech.
podcast.
I had Arkansas in mind, but I hate both those schools. So,
Yeah.
Wow.
we're going to go to the East now, which another school I hate, Duke versus Arizona. What are we feeling, boys?
Duke, Arizona. This is a toss-up. I could see either one of these two teams winning.
Mhm.
The problem with Duke is a lot of these players playing on this team, they've never been here before. It's a different stage. They're not playing at Cameron Indoor.
3 starting freshmen.
Yeah. In Arizona, Caleb Love, he's been here before.
Yeah.
He's been to the finals before.
He loves a good game
But the
against
problem
Duke.
He
with
does
him,
not like Duke.
He does
No,
not like
he
Duke.
does
He
not
loves a
like
good
Duke.
game against Duke.
but the problem with him is he's so inconsistent.
That's true.
This game could be one of the closest games. But I'm gonna have to go with Duke.
Duke.
Mm.
I'm gonna say Duke as well because just their
Two
ability
Dukes.
to control their tempo and improving their defense would probably slow down Arizona right there, man.
I wanted to say,
I think we might all agree
give
with
me
Duke.
Cooper Flag.
We hate them, but they're good at basketball. I think we're going Duke.
Duke,
All
we're
right.
good at basketball.
We're going to go
Surprise.
to the
Shocker.
Mormons versus some criminals, BYU versus Alabama. Just saying what's happened in recent times. Who do y'all got for this game?
This game is similar, I think, to Texas Tech and Arkansas. Both of these teams can score the ball
Mhm.
basically whenever they want.
Yeah.
BYU's kind of similar to Texas Tech. Is if they're missing shots, they are not winning. If they're making shots, they're more than likely winning. Last time I checked, this game is not on a Sunday. BYU's winning.
I like it.
You know what? I'm gonna have to agree with him. I think BYU have the coldest white boy on the floor. Give me Richie Saunders and give me BYU.
Y'all might be turning my
Richie.
What do we got from this side?
I love y'all so much. Like, give me Alabama.
What we got? Left side.
It's really hard to choose, but I'm probably gonna go with Danny as well for Alabama, just because.
All right. Tiebreaker.
This is basketball, not football.
Pick it for the final buzzer.
Give me Bama.
We got Bama.
One
Going
more.
to the next one. All right.
The Mormons go down.
All right. This is Midwest Cougs Purdue.
Oh.
So this is where I'll say this is going to be the biggest blowout. We're going to beat them by 30. I'm just going to say it now.
I'm saying 40, man. Push it up.
Let's
They're
go.
not
I
going
like
to
it.
score.
I'm saying 50.
I think we go in that first game. I think we just dominate. We just suck the air out of that building, and then that second game, it'll be a piece of cake.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
we'll go to the next game.
That was easiest
Kentucky,
choice.
Tennessee. I'll give it back to y'all. Y'all's ball.
All right, Corey, start us off.
So, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Drew said that Kentucky was 2-0 against Tennessee in the regular season.
I have said this, yes.
It is very hard to beat a
the
team
same.
3 times.
It's true.
It's hard to beat a team twice.
Yep.
But to beat a team 3 times, that ain't happening. I'm going Tennessee.
Okay.
I do.
Yes.
I'm going.
They're plus what Corey said, but they're also the hotter team. Kentucky is fraudulent. They don't make their threes.
They're the best, one of the best shooters in the
Give me
country.
the Bulls.
I argue Kobe Bryant is one of the best shooters in the country.
Besides Kobe Bryant.
Fine.
We got Tennessee.
I mean,
Is Rocky Top on our mind?
yeah.
Tennessee.
I
Everyone.
I have
I'm going for
Kentucky.
Tennessee.
I have Kentucky here. I might be the only one going Kentucky here,
What?
but
We got
The
one
lone
Kentucky.
wolf.
the
We got
lone
one.
I might be the lone wolf here, but give me Kentucky. And a very
But for the
exciting
Final Buzzer
rivalry.
podcast, we're doing Tennessee in our bracket. All right.
Ziegler.
So now we're going back to Auburn, Ole Miss. Or who do we have in ours? We have
Auburn.
Michigan, Michigan State. I'm sorry,
We have the-
wrong bracket.
we have
Didn't even
Interstate
take
rivalry.
any of those two.
All right,
teams.
Michigan, Michigan State boys. What do we have?
I'm gonna say right now, I don't have any proof, but when I first filled out my bracket before March Madness started, I have Michigan going to the Final Four, and I'm sticking with that.
We got Michigan.
Okay. It's kind of tough. Legendary coach. I think maybe hotter Michigan team. Jason Richardson's kid.
Ooh.
The freshman. 2 7-foot guards for Michigan.
Look nice.
Two tall guards.
Two tall forwards for their team. They have former Auburn reject Trey Donaldson.
What do we got, boys? We're coming down to the final
Give
buzzer.
me Michigan here.
Michigan.
I'm gonna have to agree with Corey. Give me Michigan. I think the 2 7-footers.
Give me fight beat. Give me Michigan.
All right.
Michigan.
That's three.
Three
We got
Michigan.
Michigan. We like to
With
fight
the
blue in here.
upset.
Sounds like we're crazy.
Final four.
All right, let's go to Florida, Texas Tech. Well, I mean, Florida is so hot right now. What are y'all thinking, boys?
I think Raider Rash ends here.
I
I
think it might be the end of the line for this.
Yeah.
Are we
I
going
think
Florida?
Raider Rash will get
Florida.
cured.
I'm gonna have to go with Florida.
We're going
Yeah,
Florida.
we're going Florida. Yeah.
Battle of the Jordan Brand.
Michigan, Florida. Final
Battle of the
four.
Jordan brands. I like it. Duke, Alabama. Wow, this is going to be a good
Damn.
game. This might be the best game of the tournament,
Oof.
besides the championship.
This is going to be a shootout.
Someone's scoring 100.
Someone scored 100.
This is going to be a shootout.
This game 100% depends on how the teams perform in the prior game.
Yes.
Obviously, I had BYU winning. This
So did I, but
Look
against
at this.
Alabama.
90.8 Alabama.
But
averages.
if these two teams were to play
But
each
they
other,
allow 81
I
a
feel
game.
like Alabama matchups better against Duke than BYU does. But even though I have BYU beating Alabama, I would take Alabama in this situation.
Ooh,
I
okay.
think they're just more the
Wow.
more high-powered offense.
Wow.
If these teams are both like okay defenses, they're not known for the defense.
Alabama allows 81 a game.
This
I
could
don't
be
know
an
that
early
That
championship.
incredible of a defense at all, but I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
that's
They're
an
not known for their
offense.
defense.
Exactly.
This is going to be a
That's
shootout.
And it will
If
be
it's
a shootout.
Yeah.
Give me Alabama.
Look at that third line though. Versus top 25, Duke is 3-2.
That is.
Ooh.
Alabama's 11.
That could be the SEC bias.
That is an SEC
Scary.
bias. Literally every game was a top 25
All right,
matchup.
boys, we're coming down to the buzzer. What do we got?
So So what? That's 2 Alabamas.
Give me a Duke. It's just.
We got 2 Bamas.
Give me a Duke.
You can tie it, or you can send it home with Bama.
That's
that's
really
fine,
tough. Like both Corey and Denny made both fantastic statement right there. But I'll probably go with Duke, just because they always score their best in second half.
It's 2 and 2
Oh, it's
right
tied.
now.
Oh,
it's 2 and
I'm
2
sorry,
right now. He's a tiebreaker.
This 3-2 record against top 25.
Cooper flag.
That's because the ACC was garbage, and then he played anybody.
They're fraudulent.
I say
Doesn't mean they're fraudulent.
This could be an early championship. Give me Alabama.
Alabama it is. All right.
Let's
keep it moving.
I don't hate the pick.
All right, we already know. I will say this could also be one of the best games of the tournament as well.
We got the shootout.
It's going to be another
shootout.
shootout.
I think it's more of a defensive game.
I think the first team to score 80 points in this game.
This is more of a defensive game.
The Cougs are playing defense,
and so do they. So.
Yeah.
Oof. This is neck to neck.
This is going to be a fight.
This is a dog
This is
fight.
0.1 more points than us.
This ain't gonna be a shootout. It's a dog fight right here.
I mean, we know who we're picking.
Good thing
but
it's 0.1 points won't make a difference in a game.
it's going to be a close game.
Give me the
Give me the Cougs.
Whoa!
Get a load of this.
Watch your mouth.
He almost got fired day one of the podcast.
Give me
All right,
the
let's go Cougs. Let's keep this thing rolling.
Turn the TV
All right,
off.
Final
Michigan,
four.
Florida.
Mm.
Is this going to be the end of the line for our big blue boys?
Oh.
Unfortunately, I think so. Unfortunately,
We got one Florida.
Yeah.
They beat the team that won 13
Corey, tell me
games
something
in
nice.
March in a row.
Talk to me nice.
We got 2 Floridas.
Oh.
I also think it's the end of the line.
We got 3 Floridas.
Make that 4, man.
Oh, make it all
Is it
6,
5?
I think.
Make it all 6.
Make it the whole room.
Make it the other class, too.
Yeah.
And then
everybody in class.
This
I'm
dude
pleased with us
or
too.
Alabama, Houston. Wow, this is also going to be a barn burner.
Let's see.
Did we play them this year?
We did.
We did. We lost by 5.
Lost,
And
yeah.
we lost them by 5 in overtime. Yeah.
It was a good game.
That was a good game. I think.
That was in Alabama.
Very early.
That was in Vegas. Yeah.
It was a new
Vegas. Whatever happens in Vegas.
Stays
Stays in Vegas.
I like it.
Give us
That's a
the
good point.
Cougs.
I like it.
I love it.
Give us the Cougs on
Give me
that.
the Cougs.
Give us the Cougs.
Hey, it's hard to beat a team twice.
So this is
Right.
what I have going in all my brackets right now.
This is what I
I
have.
agree.
Not to be chalk.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree too.
But I mean, this whole tournament's been chalk. So
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
mean, Florida has been so
Mid
hot.
madness strikes again.
right, mid madness.
Let's not be too biased. If
That's
you were to put money on this,
Okay.
I'm still putting money on the Cougs.
I was about to say.
Look.
Can you go down the points allowed?
Wait, can you scroll down real quick?
So we got U of A.
This all depends.
I probably have to go with
This
Florida
all
because
depends if
they're
we're healthy or not. If we're healthy, we can beat
So we're
anybody.
looking at
Just about
Florida's
anybody.
points per game. Florida's 85.4. U of A 74.5.
But
Opponents'
they
points
allow
per game
10
though,
points.
they allow a lot
Lockdown
more,
defense.
69.4. We only allow 58.4. That has to be us with the monster
Yep.
in the paint. Whenever people get close,
Mhm.
we're gonna come put a body on you.
Yep.
It's gonna be a close game.
I think our
It
bigs.
is
I think our
gonna
bigs
be a
are
close
better than
game.
their bigs. To be honest with you,
I think our bigs are better than their
they
bigs
got
too.
one tall, lanky white boy.
I think the
and
reason
they
why
got
they
their
win
other
this game
big.
is because UVA's gonna have home court advantage.
Yep.
In San Antonio, it's
That's
only a 3-hour
true.
drive.
I
No
agree.
bias at all.
True. We're not biased.
If this game was
We're
in
not-
like Miami or
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
I would
Maybe
say
different.
I would,
Maybe
I would
different.
Oh, it's
probably
Joe
say
over.
It could be a
Florida.
little
It's
closer.
Joe over.
All right. Well, the final buzzer podcast.
What about the total
Our
points
second
scored?
chance bracket.
Total points scored?
We're picking the Cougs.
Of course.
Let's all pick a score.
Total points scored. What are we feeling? High scoring game, low scoring game, gentlemen?
I got high scoring game. I have 169 points.
Ooh, that's like
Wow.
between both.
I have 157.
Wow.
Give me a 30 burger for Crier.
Oh.
30 burger.
30 burger.
Another one?
Well, that will do it for the Final Buzzer podcast. Thank you all for tuning in to our first episode. We hope you enjoy the rest of the tournament as much as we will. Go Cougs.
Go Cougs.